Alright, what's up everyone? Thank you so much for joining us again this Friday for our Crusaders of Life live stream. Obviously this week we're going to be talking about really awesome stuff like the Paladin as well as other things. So a little bit earlier we have been dropping hints about the Paladin. Wanted to give a shout out to Kayla and Lovely in the line chat for combining their forces and figuring it out. It basically says, fellow Paladins, we will not rest until we have purged all evils, which hints at the obvious Paladin. So that's the big thing that everyone wants to talk about, so we are going to jump right into it. So as you can see here, I've got Paladin already going on here. We're going to talk about their paths, their skills, and then their runes, and then we're going to talk about some more stuff. Okay, Joe's jump. We're going to jump. We're going to run and jump. Alright, so let's just go ahead and go straight to the skills. Much like other classes, it's got the same number of skills, I think 8, right? 8. And then a class skill, I guess is what we call it. So we're going to start with the 4, and then we're going to go around the next 4. So the first one's Tora Sword. It's actually a ranged attack, and it also removes shield effects. So if you are kind of big into PvP, you can knock out shields with this attack. Divine Guidance is an AoE attack that also heals, so it's definitely good for both PvP and PvE. This one's Raining Sword does more damage than Divine Guidance because it's just damage, it doesn't heal. And then Covenant Sword, this one's my favorite attack because it looks awesome. You basically swing down a giant sword and light the ground on fire, and if they're standing on it, it basically damages them more. It leaves like a little fire pit for them to stand to do damage. So the class skill Judgment is actually very useful. You can do either damage or healing with it. So depending on what you're doing, if you really need to save someone, you can heal them with it, or if you're just doing DPS, you go ahead and do that. So Ocho wants me to show the sword. I love the sword. The sword's the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever! So that's the Covenant Sword. As you can see, once you hit them with it, they kind of get knocked down and they light on fire. Here's Raining Sword. It does multiple AoE attacks. And then this is Divine Guidance. It'll heal me a little bit, so you'll see right there. And then the Sword of Tora is a ranged skill, so we can just ping them like that. Oh, it didn't show, but whatever. This is my favorite skill. I'm gonna hit it again. Bah! Love it. Gonna do it again. So Sword Tora throws these 3 swords, drags them over, and then I just love hitting this skill. Feels so good. Oh, Judgment. Forgot Judgment. Judgment does that, and if I wanted to heal myself, I would simply target myself and then heal myself with that way. And then we're just going to go and kill him. Oh, the basic attack sequence is the same as Warriors. It's 4 steps. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how that works. Hang on. Gotta have an excuse to do that. Yes, that heal will heal others. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and then of course the last attack always does more damage. And then I'm just gonna hit the sword attack again because I have way too much fun with this sword. I just have way too much fun with it. Okay, we're gonna go do the next 4 skills. We're going to do Rampart of Guardian, Shield of Order, Glory of Paladins, and Endurance of Truth. So we're going to go through these real quick. Rampart of Guardian does a silence by using your shield. Shield of Order costs a little bit of your max HP, but it gives it back over time. It also does a silence. Glory of Paladins basically gives you a buff that kind of heals you, but also lets you deal extra damage. And the Endurance of Truth is a gap closer, so if you're also doing PvP, or if you need to jump to another target further away from you in PvE, you can use this, and I'll show you in a bit, but it drops this little really cool zone that is basically good for you to stand in and bad for the enemies to stand in. So we're going to go ahead and open with that. Endurance of Truth. Ah! So, as you can see, I'm getting healed, and he's taking damage from it. And then we can just silence him with the Rampart Guardian. And then look at how glowy my sword is now with the Glory of Paladins. And you can see the numbers aren't really showing up perfectly, but you can kind of see I'm doing extra damage. We'll go ahead and show that again. So you can see the damage numbers. Bonus numbers, so you see 190 something and then an extra 96. 180 something. And then now I don't have that extra damage. So it's pretty much significant damage for all your normal attacks. And then the Shield of Order. Captain America things. It's great. And then we're just going to start killing these. Because I know some of you want to do paths. So, I know a lot of you are asking about character deletion and deleting an old tomb. We are working on it. We know that some people are capped on slots, so we are going to provide extra character slots for you with this update, so you don't need to worry about not being able to make a Paladin on your account. Okay, so deletion will not be in for this update. We are working on it, but we are going to give you extra character slots so that you can create Paladins without worrying about it. Paths is next. We will do that. So the Paladin has 3 paths. We've got a tanking path, and we've got 2 damage dealing paths. So the first path that we're going to go through is the Templar. So the big thing here is that it gets you a lot of crush resistance, some parry, and reduced damage. Your Judgment will now also become your taunting attack. So very much like a Warrior's Searing Chains, Judgment will be the attack that you want to use to taunt to you. The split path, the supporting parts of the path is Shield of Sanctity. It's also similar to the Warrior's Shield. I think it's Burning Blessing, or is Gladiator Heart. Gladiator Heart, that's what it is. It absorbs damage and then it heals you. You get skills such as Sword of Torah and Shield of and Glory of Paladins to help reset it. So that tells me that those are 2 skills that I might want to have when I'm playing a Templar. And when the Shield of Sanctity is broken, it'll heal me. So that's very good for tanking. It doesn't give you as much of a shield, and we also don't get the parry bonuses that the Warrior does. So we might have more crush resistance, but we're losing out on a lot of parry bonuses. So there's a difference there. So, I mean, I think parrying is really important, as is crush resistance. So let's see. Child of Holy Light. When you get hit, you get the chance to drop an orb. When you touch the orb, you can heal. It doesn't necessarily only just mean you can touch the orb. Other people can touch it too. So the other 2 paths support it by increasing the HP regen or granting a shield when that happens. So we're going to go ahead and change our skills around. So Sword of Torah is something that I might want to have. And then I think the other one was Glory of Paladins, which I do have. So we're just going to replace that real quick. And then let's show off some of the path skills. So we're going to aggro him. And here is my Shield of Sanctity. So there's my shield. You see it over there. And then it heals me when it's done. And I'm going to wait for the Orb of Light to show up. I've got like a 12% chance for it to trigger. So hopefully it will trigger soon. Oh, so there's the Orb of Light. I'm going to grab it. So you see I got a shield and I got heals. Those are, I think, some of the coolest things about this path. Is that it does heal. Not directly. But it does have some healing. It's not the strongest healing. It won't compare to a Shepherd. But it is definitely helpful. Alright. Let's go over to the next path. Sorry, let me get some water. Paladin of Dawn. This one's crit focused. So you get 10% crit, Sword of Torah's crit rate is increased. You get a Judicator state when you score a critical hit, which refreshes Judgment's cooldown. I've play tested this a little bit. It's actually really fun if you start stacking crit, very much like Scouts do. You stack it up and you just keep spamming your Judgment. It's actually really fun. Your path skill will be Well of Light. It drops a little well that deals area damage. That also, when enhanced, can do some damage over time. And I think this one just increases the sword's damage to slow targets. So this is really good if you can slow your enemies. Obviously, in higher level heroics, slows don't affect it. So that could be a challenge for whether or not you want to actually put points into this path or into this part of the path. The next one is Shield of Order. You get more damage from that. You get a lot of crit. Like I said, this one, because of the way it's designed, you want to stack crit to reset your judgments, and then you get more crit. So this is just like going for big numbers and crits. So this one helps you reset the Well of Light's cooldown using either Divine Guidance or Shield of Order. So I'm looking at Shield of Order, Divine Guidance, and maybe Raining Sword. So we're going to go ahead and activate that path. Oh, it's already activated. And let's go ahead and change my skills to have Shield of Order. And Divine Guidance. And then so we'll do Well of Light first. I drop a little well. I didn't aggro. Oh, there it goes. So it's starting to shoot holy lights everywhere. It's like fireworks. It's great. It's shiny. Of course, my character isn't exactly geared or spec'd, but there's the Judicator buff. I also did not keep Judgment on cooldown, which is probably important to keeping your DPS up high for playing the spec. Yeah, so that's the key features of that path. This next one is really fun. It's definitely has a lot of utility. I actually play all three paths for everything, but I believe Ocho plays Scout, and he's leveling his Tamer. Alright, so the last path is going to be the Paladin of Daylight. This one is, I guess, more of a utility buff kind of path. So the first skill you get is a skill called River of Time. It silences all enemy players within range. So if you like PvP, this might be something you want to look into, and it pulls them toward the Paladin. So it's kind of like it's a lot of CC mixed together in one. You also get this active skill called Aging after you enable it, so you can stop the cast time for River of Time, and then deals damage to all the players in range, and then silences again. So this is great for shutting down any casters that you have to deal with in PvP. Also for any pulls that might have a lot of casters that you might want to shut out. And this simply increases the damage, which is always good. More damage means more killing, which is fun. This is what I like a lot about this path over here, is the Place of Sanctity. When you're within the range of Durance of Truth, you get a damage reduction effect. This is great everywhere. As long as you have this Paladin, you might want to consider bringing it in for bosses that might hit harder. 1 hit point means you're still alive, guys. It doesn't matter if you're at 0 hit points, but 1 hit point, that 0.04% might make it. So that's really important. You can also reset your River Time cooldowns whenever you use Rampart of Guardians. That's probably something I'm looking at into putting into my skill selection. And then as well as helping people run faster when you have your River of Time out. So if you're not in a zone that's about to get nuked by fire in the boss, pop your River of Time to help your allies get out of there faster. So we're going to go ahead and check this out real quick. Oh, for some reason that didn't activate. There we go. So the new skills we're looking at here are basically River of Time, and then Aging. So River of Time does that, and then when it finishes casting, it lets me go free again. You do want to actually pop your Aging for when that happens, so that you can do massive damage again. So let me go ahead and pop the River of Time, and then you can see the damage there. Obviously not the greatest, because my gear is awful. But that's the whole concept of that path. Alright, so now we're going to go take a look at the rune skills, or the rune upgrades that we can get for this. Everyone doing all right? Let's see. Oh, Kubix, we're working on a character delete. It's not going to be ready for this update, but we are going to add more character slots so that if you are already full on character classes, you can still play a Paladin. 99, I think Paladins are going to be new, and we're going to be taking a look at it as it's released to do some tweaking later. Nisnakehead, I don't think warrior tanks are going to be replaced. Again, I want to point out the fact that even in the Templar path for the Paladins, as strong as a crush resistance is, you are not going to get the amount of parry that a warrior can have. So it's going to be probably a better judgment call on what tank might be better for certain things. But I don't think warriors are going to be replaced at all by the Templar. They might complement each other for certain fights. They might be able to work together. But I don't think the warrior gladiator's path is going to go completely away. All right, so let's talk about rune skills. All right, so a couple of rune skills at level 28. You're going to get the Inquisitor, which enhances your judgment. You can pick between the damage or the healing. The healing is definitely great for any kind of support that you might want to be doing. Damage is obviously great for everything killing. The Torah swords, you get increased damage and cooldown. And the Rampart of Honor, you get the Shield of Order buff. So this one actually lets you hit 2 extra targets when you use it. So it turns it into kind of an AoE attack. And then it deals an area damage too. So lots of AoE. If you want some AoE attacks, this might be a way to start picking it up. And then this one increases the heal. Remember, Shield of Order takes 10% of your max health. So the more regen you can get back from using it, the better it's going to be. So if you want to use that, I would consider putting these two in. It also ties in with the Paladin of Dawn's attacks, so that might be something. Glory of Paladins, the longer the duration, the better. Again, this skill heals you and does more damage. Might be possible to keep the uptime on this up as much as possible for 100%. That'd be great. And then you also get more HP regen. So this might be something good if you're trying to solo some harder content, or maybe even when you're playing a tank, a Templar. This might be something you want to consider. Durance of Truth. Remember the Paladin of Dawn with the Durance of Truth buff. Everyone who's in their Durance of Truth gets a damage reduction, which is great. And then you get healing on top of that. So it's just overall great group play. And that also increases damage, so you can kill more things with it. Enhanced normal attacks, don't need to go through that. So for PvP players, this might be useful. You can reduce target speed. Remember some attacks that we went through, for example, in the path for the Paladin of Dawn, raining source damage to slow targets is increased. So combining some of this stuff might be pretty interesting. You can do a Torah sword, run out to them, hit them with a raining sword to do some extra damage. So there's some synergies there. Enhanced raining sword. So this one lets you add a state to target. So when you hit someone with the raining sword, other people when they hit it can heal. Very useful utility for no matter what. And then obviously cooldown reduction, always good. Don't want to die when a skill's on cooldown. This one's the damage increase, and this one's the sword regen, the healing regen. And then Shield of Order again here. When you combo a Torah sword into the Shield of Order, you can increase that damage. So that's some sort of cycle that you can start working on if you're doing some more ranged style attacks. And then Divine Guidance on top of it, you get a damage reduction on top of the heal. So that makes it very useful for taking any incidental damage. We're going to cover Star Circle in just a bit. We're going to go through this real quick. Divine Guidance buffs, increases hit HP regen and range, always good. Again, if you're really big into PvP, you can pick this up. You give the target a silent state, so if someone's casting something, throw this at them, interrupt it, or maybe stop them from even casting an instant cast. And And then Taurus Sword, you can also make that a healing, give it a healing effect as well. So there's a lot of damage and healing going on with the Paladins, but nothing's going to be straight up heal. So you're going to be able to support the healing that's needed in a team, but you're not going to be able to do the full-on healing that might be needed for some of the end game content. Covenant Sword increases direct damage and continuous damage. This is probably my favorite thing because I like the Covenant Sword because it's just so fun to hit that button. So we had someone ask a little bit about the Star Circle, where we can touch on that real quick. Give me some water first. So the Star Circle is a new way for your character to gain power as we level up. So when you are at talent level 50, you will get a quest line. A rather long quest line that has a mixture of single player quests and group quests that you can do. It has a great storyline behind it. And once you finish the whole thing, you get this page on your skill page, this little tab down here that says Star Circle. Once you unlock at level 50, you can unlock more when your talent reaches level, it goes higher and higher. So as you can see, it goes pretty high. I think 90 is the highest. So what it does is as you unlock it, you can get these circle stars to slot in. Whenever you slot in something, you get passive attributes to everything. So when you put it in, you get these passive attributes. They don't activate until you're in a group. When you're in a group, you can designate a person to be the leader, and the leader usually will have the Star Circle, or I think the leader can actually assign that person to activate their Star Circle effect. And when that effect is out, you get certain buffs like movement speed. And then when you're in this page, you can cultivate the star. As you level it up, it will unlock more and more power for that specific Star Circle. So you can level up each one as you go and then get more and more. In terms of raid and groups, it is going to be segmented out by 10 people, by the 10 people groups. So you can have 4 or 5 different you can have multiple Star Circles per small set of 10, if that makes sense. So it's something that I think is very exciting. It will be using different materials. So for example, you'll be using this star shards over here that you can get in the future when we release it. So I think it'll be pretty fun. It's definitely a great way to increase your character's power, but also be able to bring unique buffs and some uniqueness to your character. So let's see if we have any questions. Let's see. Experience. I think you'll be able to pick what Star Circles you have that you want to throw in there. I just threw one random one in there. To level up the Star Circle, Alex, I'm going to show you again one more time real quick. When you get into this page, you want to go to Cultivate, and then you will get these materials that you can purchase through the store or earn through gameplay, and then you can level them up that way. Star Circle benefits everyone. Only one person gets to activate theirs though, so you're always going to get the passive attributes that are linked to your Star Circle. Neil, I think I'm okay with the talent debuff for now. It'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. All right. Couple more things we want to go through this time. So, Champion Trials. Who likes Champion Trials? They're back. Hey, Champion Trials. They're gonna be back for a while. They're still going to grant you your 2 lucky tickets, because who doesn't like lucky tickets? But everyone loves Champion Trials. They're back. You're gonna be able to do them. Just to show you, there's some proof. Let me get there on my slow mount. But look, he's right there. He's right there. He's right there. All the tickets. But on top of that, we did make some changes to the map UI. So sometimes in a lot of games, in MMOs, you might pick up a quest that you think is too hard. You get frustrated with it, and then you just wanted to, like, you just dropped it because you wanted to get rid of it. And then you're like, oh, wait, I need to do this quest to do this one other thing. But I forgot where to get it. Well, we added them back. So whenever you're on the map and you see this little icon over here with the scroll and the exclamation mark, like here and here and here, something you gotta do is tap on it, click on it, and it asks you, do you want to go pick up this quest? I'm like, okay, sure, we'll go pick up this quest. Right, so if you're big into exploration, experiencing the storyline, you could definitely go back and see, did I miss a quest? Did I miss something? That's definitely something that we did to help players enjoy and explore the world more. Katara, there are no there are no new areas unlocked right now, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to do more. Any questions that I may have missed? Sorry, I can't see. So Paladins will have their own loot. Reset for Star Circle, as in, like, if you wanted to slot something new. That's something I'll have to check on about that. Oh yes, Skyblaze 3 and 4 Heroic is up. So who wants to do Heroic Pulric? That sounds like a lot of fun, right? No Zodiac, there's an XP buff, so you're gonna have to. Paladins will have to play some catching up, but I think it'll be an experience. All right, does anyone want to see anything more from Paladins? Because if not, I'm just gonna go do one more attack real quick because Covenant Sword is the best. No. No. Oh, that's a lord. I can't kill it. Nightmare Trials, pulling one. Okay, that's something that we would appreciate if you reported it to our team so we can investigate it. Suddens, this is a dev server, so it's not actually live yet. We don't have any legendary loot or divine loot to show for Paladins at this time. So I guess that's it for the big thing is we're doing Paladins. And since I can't show you Heroic Pulric, since I'm by myself, we'll have to catch up with y'all next time. Maybe next week or in the future, maybe we'll show some more stuff. So if you've got any ideas or stuff you want to see for the next stream, go ahead, let us know. Send us a Facebook message, tweet at us, forums, wherever you can find me. Let me know whatever you want to see. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We will see you next week.